Now, do you care what happens to you after death? Do you want your remains to be in a golden casket on a house like the former Cocoa Board boss allegedly constructed for his mother? Remember how that image trended on social media a few weeks ago? Let's see the picture. Well, that's the image that trended a few weeks ago, and now we hear that in an effort to create space at the Overcrowded Cemetery, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is planning to exhume old bodies. Exactly. Now, those that have been buried without proper documentation at the Overcrowded Cemetery. So, tell us what you make of the story.
I'll go strictly with according to my religion. You know, we don't bury with the coffin, or we don't get incriminated. We are just buried in the ground just like that. So for me, it won't be a problem for me if I'm being buried like the way the Islamic Sharia accepts and agrees that we Muslims, when we die, we should be buried.
I want to be buried.
Why?
Because I believe that's the way everyone should be. That's the process which everyone should be buried, or should be the process of burial should be. So I don't think it's necessary for anyone to die and then believe in other ways of burial or stuff.
We just need to follow the normal process, just by burial. The cremation is good, you understand, but we can also do away with the old one.
Well, for some people, once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah,
Whatever happens to their body.
It's true.
Yes, once
you're gone, you can't be bothered.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see how people are reacting to the story.
Adam and Rebsby says, so far as the corpse doesn't resurrect at the time the fat touches the body during cremation, it is okay. After all, it will save some resources like land, coughing and others, but the destination of the soul matters. It's true. Apia Emmanuel says, what is soul? It is abstract in nature, not real, can't be seen or touched. Once you die, nothing else. Bam. If you breathe finish, if your breath is finished, that ends your whole being. We live because we have breath. Just like animals and plants, that is how nature made us, and nothing after death. Kwesi Boateng says, to me, where your soul goes after death is what matters. Whether your body will be given the Ghanaian approved burial or will be cremated doesn't bring back the dead. I will go in for cremation so that my tomb will not be worshipped every year after my death, and also to save us some space. Okay.
All right, and I am not really bothered about what happens to my remains after I die, and I am really concerned about what happens to my soul and not my remains. Whatever my relative wish to do with my remains, let them do with it, but I will not recommend that my remains be cremated. Likewise, heavy funerals and burials which have no effect on my soul. Waste of resources, no benefit. I think that's what you want to say. And I really prefer to be buried than cremated, because even in my death, I want my dead body to turn organic manure for the benefits of trees and fruits at the cemetery than being wasted as ashes. Okay, so because in the Bible, man was created through dust, not ashes. So I must go to where I came from. All right. So a tragedy rocked the mining town of Prestia in Suta when a mine pit collapsed, trapping 17 miners. Latest information indicates that the search has been halted following a heavy downpour, though one body has been retrieved. But the deputy ranking member of parliament on the Mines and Energy Committee, Adam Mutawakil, is demanding that the Lands and Resources Minister, that's John Peter Mill, resigns for non-performance. We've been asking your view.
No, personally, I don't agree. Oh, enforcement of the law does not rest on a particular person. No one person can enforce a law in the whole country. So even the community, if they were up and doing, the community could have prevented this fatal accident.
But if they are still doing it, that means it's their own negligence that make them have that accident. Yeah, that's it.
So do you agree with calls for him to resign?
No. It doesn't go with that, because it didn't set anybody to go there and do the galamsey, because government approved that. No, they should stop.
No, I don't see the reason why somebody who is championing a very good cause will be asked to resign. We all know what galamsey is doing to us in this nation, Ghana. So if somebody is doing all those things and people are not benefiting from what they have to get, they are the same people who asked him to resign. People being trapped there, he didn't ask them to go there because of his good work, and they are going behind him. They are going behind doing this illegal galamsey. If you are trapped there, why should we ask him to resign?
Well, I wouldn't start with the guys who are saying he should resign, because since he was appointed the minister, he's done a lot. But then what I can advise is that he has to bring out a plan, like he mentioned, so that at least all the nation, all the guys, in the galamsey business will know that the government has something for them.
Straight to what people are saying, you know.
Judicious withdrawal, Eric says, it is unnecessary calling for his resignation. And I think the minority should do better constructive criticism than what we are doing in opposition. One will ask, is Honorable Amewu the site owner, or was he the one who authorized them to go there? I quite remember in 2010, during President Mills's era, a number of galamseyers died inside a pit at Dunkwa, but no one called him to resign. So why now this hypocrisy must stop? Cindy Moon says, resignation how? This is one minister who's working so hard in his ministry to stop this galamsey. When there was fire and flood, was Ata Oku sacked? I beg, stop the witch hunting and sit somewhere, gentlemen. It's Honorable Amewu, the owner of that pit. Incompetence even in opposition. Chai. Honorable Amewu and his team are working hard. Mr. Mutawakilu, drink some coffee and go to bed and allow the man to work. Ghana is working again. And Kwesi Boateng says, at least this government is giving Ghanaians hope that the war against galamsey is possible. Brim River is taking shape. It's practical evidence that the fight is yielding results. To the minister, how many times did Oko Van der Poel resign after numerous floods in Accra and building collapsing? Incompetent opposition.
Achishogwe says failure on the part of the leaders have resulted in the numerous galamsey thing. Well, if the leaders will stop being selfish and work for Ghana to develop, where there are lots of resources to develop the country, and Ghana would have developed. Leaders must have been greedy and selfish and selfless. Okay. Well, I don't know how it can be greedy and selfless. Okay, if the citizens feel that the authorities do not care about your welfare, this will happen. God help us. All right, and musician, of course, British musician Ed Sheeran says he's quit Twitter after facing continuous stream of abuse from people on social media. But can you blame him? Now, take a look at some of the tweets found on his Twitter feed. All right, so the Ginger Baska fella has pulled a decent crowd at
Glastonbury.
Okay, and he will drown in loose change. Okay, so, and somebody else can say, Dave, if the Ginger Baska can headline Glasgow, you've got a chance next year. And there's currently a Ginger Baska on BBC One. So it's like playing €280 for a festival only to find out that they let a Ginger Baska headline it. Okay, so something like that. And so I hear that the Ginger Baska is an insult, and people say that it's trying to sound like you're insane or somebody who is not well up there. So I don't know why.
He plays good music.
I don't know.
I don't know what the problem is with it.
I don't know what people did or what Ed Sheeran did to people. But at this point, I can only say, go get your song with Fuse ODG. You know that song he has anyway. Okay, so this is not like a new scenario. Even in Ghana, remember when a certain Nana Kwame seemed to have silenced our colleague Manasseh Azuri on Facebook for a while, because of the trolling of Manasseh was relentless. But Manasseh has resumed activity on Facebook. But Ed Sheeran says he won't be active on Twitter again. So we have to ask, is there any circumstance that will stop you from using your social media?
Nah, I don't think so. Why? Because I use it for like almost everything. Like that's where I use That's what I use to communicate to my friends and everything. So I don't think anything can stop me from using it.
No, because it really helps a lot, and especially some of my friends that I've seen in ages through social media, I've been able to communicate with them.
No, not at all. Not at all, because I'm an artist, so every day I have to be there to check one or two things.
The only thing I hate about the social media is the way people use it in a negatively way. I'm a purely Christian, and I don't like the way people project themselves on the social media. At times when you go to the social media, people used to nickel themselves, and that sort of the rumors that we hear about people, about the politicians or about our leaders, seem so bad.
Not really. There's nothing of such that can stop me. Why? Actually, social media also help us in education, also interact with other friends and our colleagues, our parents outside. Then, so social media, there's nothing that can stop us.
I don't really think anything can stop me from using social media, because I get a lot of information from social media, as in information that are useful about the country and so many things.
There will always be bullies on social media. Israel, anything that can take you away from social media?
I don't know, but it's possible.
It's possible.
I may just lose interest. I mean, I could wake up one day and say, okay, forget about it.
Okay, you lose interest not because you're being trolled.
No, not because I'm being trolled.
Anyway, so let's see what people are saying.
Kwesi Boateng says, I'll stop social media if the owners eliminate it from the world. I'm sure that's what you want. So if someone gives me £10,000 to quit. Other than that, to years who counts, I'll continue to be here. Desmond Oakley says, I never stop social media when faced with such situations, because human beings are created differently with different opinions altogether. My opinion will sound bad to another person, so I'll just ignore those critics and move on. Them dear Simon says, I think some rules or guidelines necessary to ensure sanity on social media platforms will help stop some of these abuses. Social media is actually filthy nowadays, with some people engaging in social media vigilantism, whatever that is.
Like, seriously, I don't think I'll quit social media for any reason. It's normal to be attacked in a way or the other, depending on your post, and others may have different views from yours. So this one year, when you meet your meter, you take it cool. After all, Manasseh Azuri still uses Facebook after his encounter with Dodo, okay? And no way a day without social media is like I'm missing out of the world. Social media has come to stay and has become part of us. So